Hi there, today I want to show off A2M, the Apple II emulator's newer development tools. So we go to the Assembler tab, we booted Total Replay, but we're going to assemble Manic Miner, which I've set up already. And when I press the Assemble button, the game starts. It's assembled and put into RAM. And so let's pretend we're going to debug the game now. So we are playing it, and as we're going along, we see something has gone wrong. And we say, wait, I saw something that wasn't right. So we go over to the Inspector tab, and you can see there are 12 seconds of history. It holds up to 14. This is really a time machine, and so when I go into the Inspector, I can scrub back and forth in the time machine, and the frames you see were frames that were saved as they were shown to the user. Going back further, you see these purple screens. The frames can be regenerated, but they're not saved at this point anymore. So let's say that we look at this frame and we say something went wrong here. So let's pretend it was over there, and down here you can see the address of those pixels under the cursor, so 379A. So we want to figure out what happened there. We go into the Forensics tab, and here we have a query interface where I can say find at the address 379A, and I want access to be right, and I want to limit it to 64. If I tab, it completes and I get the answers. So in this display you see the newest at the top, the oldest at the bottom, and if we look at what was written to that address, we see these bytes here, and they are obviously the Manic Miner character. So we pick one of them and we say land exact, which takes us back to the Inspector, and that is the exact statement that wrote those pixels. But we are looking at the front buffer, and we really want to see the back buffer. So we go to the hardware and we override page 2 display, and there you can see we are busy writing the pixels. So now if I use the regular debugger step controls, things like breakpoints and so on all work. I can advance the state, and as I go through here you can see how the rest of the sprite is written. So that is how you can use these forensics to look at more information. You can also land before to step into things a little bit further. The other thing you can do is just, let's say the ID is 3692139, and we want to see before maybe 16 and after, let's say, 2 instructions. If we execute that, you can see the whole lead up to that write. So this shows all the reads, the dummy reads, the writes, which opcodes we're executing, and so on. So that is all available to you with the Flight Recorder Forensics engine. So let's turn off the override, and if I run, I'm still in Inspector mode, so I have to leave Inspector mode, and now I'm back to live, and the game carries on as normal. The other thing I wanted to show is that I can insert what I call the HostFS here in samples. This is just my regular file system on my machine, but it acts as though it is a ProDOS volume of 32 megabytes, and it uses the name attribute preservation scheme so that it knows what the Apple II files are. So if I use this folder, it is just a volume, and I can now boot off of it. And the nice thing about this is that changes made from the host files, from the host machine, show up in here sort of live. You just have to refresh bitsy-bye, obviously. And so I have made a Manic Miner that assembles only to disk because it has 2 files as output, the old scroll version and the single screen non-scroll version. So if I've assembled this now, I can automatically run it and choose either version. So this is the single screen version, and with that I can develop on the host machine but still test in the emulator without rebooting, and I can experiment with other things in there as well, put anything in there, and it's just picked up by the emulator. So that's a nice feature. So that's the stuff I wanted to show off today. So thank you for watching.